Shalom, shalom. Shaul Dog here once again with your weekly drash. This is Parashah 8, Vayishlach, which means he sent. This is chapter 32, verse 4 through chapter 36, verse 43. A lot of stuff happens here. It's the adventures of Yaakov. And, let's just get right into it here. Chapter 32, verse 4. We'll just start from the beginning here. Yaakov sent messengers ahead of him to Esau, his brother, toward the land of Seir, the country of Edom, with these instructions. Here is what you are about to say to my lord, Esau. Your servant Yaakov says, I have been living with Laban and have stayed until now. I have cattle, donkeys, and flocks, and male and female servants. I am sending to tell the news to my lord in order to win your favor. The messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, we went to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you. With him are 400 men. Wow. I mean, just think right now, 400 men. You're thinking about you have your whole family with you, okay? And that your brother is basically a warlord in a way, and he's coming with 400 men. Now, that's pretty intimidating, but let's continue here. Yaakov became greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people, flocks, cattle, and camels with him into two camps, saying, if Esau comes to one camp and attacks it, at least the camp that is left will escape. Then Yaakov said, God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, Yahavah, who told me, return to your country and your kinsmen, I will do you good. I am not worthy of all the love and faithfulness you have shown your servant since I've crossed the Yarden with only my staff. But now I have become two camps. Please rescue me from my brother Esau. I'm afraid of him, afraid he'll come and attack me, without regard for mothers and children. You said I will certainly do you good and make your descendants as numerous as the grains of sand by the sea, which are many, they can't be counted, or so many they can't be counted. Now we see Yaakov was afraid here, but he never gave up. And he could have easily avoided his brother. He could just, kept running away and everything like that. But, he was following the direction that Yah put him in. And, the circumstances surrounding he and his brother separating weren't the best of circumstances. They didn't part on good terms. We'll just put it that way. So, you go with all those feelings that you had before and everything like that. And we know that Yaakov, on the outward appearance, just took the blessings and everything else that were supposed to be for Esau. But if you remember, Esau sold off his birthright. And, Yah basically already said that Yaakov would be ahead of Esau. So we see what happens here. But, he really wanted to make amends with his brother. Okay, so this is what he did. He stayed there that night. He chose from among his possessions the following as a present for Esau, his brother: 200 female goats, 20 males, 200 female sheep and 20 males, 30 milk camels and their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 colts. I mean, it'd be like tens of thousands in today's standards, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's just like, here, I've been blessed with so much. Here, take all this abundance. And, you have to really understand what, livestock back then was wealth. I mean, if you had lots of livestock, you had lots of wealth. It didn't even matter if you had a house. If you had all that livestock, you were a rich person, and to just give all this stuff up to Esau was basically like saying, hey, I am truly sorry about all the stuff that's gone on between us. Let's make amends here. I'm giving this to you as a peace offering here, But, he crossed the Yarden with only his staff, and then next thing you know, he's got two whole camps, and he's got abundant wealth and everything like that, And this is what happens when you obey the Torah. Okay, when you obey Yah's commands. And we've already established, if you've watched the past drashes and everything, you've already known that the commands of Yah were right there with them as they were walking with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Yaakov. Okay, so the only the ignorant of Scripture are going to say, well, they're the Mosaic laws. No, they're Yah's laws. Moses didn't make the laws and give them to the people. No, Yah gave them to the people through Moses. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue here, okay? We go to verse 23. He got up that night, took his 2 wives, his 2 slave girls, and his 11 children, and forded the Yabbok. He took them and sent them across a stream, and then sent his possessions across. Then Yaakov was left alone. Then some man wrestled with him until daybreak. When he saw that he did not defeat Yaakov, he struck Yaakov's hip socket, so that his hip was dislocated while wrestling with him. The man said, "Let me go, because it's daybreak." But Yaakov replied, "I won't let you go unless you bless me." The man asked, "What is your name?" He answers, "Yaakov." Then the man said, "From now on, you will no longer be called Yaakov, but Yisrael, because you have shown your strength to both Yahweh and men and have prevailed." Yaakov asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he answered, "Why are you asking about my name?" and blessed him there. And Yaakov called the place Peniel, the face of Yahweh, because I have seen Yahweh face to face, yet my life is spared. As the sun rose upon him, he went past Peniel, limping at the hip. This is why to this day, people of Yisrael don't eat the thigh muscle that passes along the hip socket, because the man struck Yaakov at his hip socket. Now, we know Yaakov was afraid of his brother. What better way to build his confidence than to come down and say, okay, I'm going to show you that you're strong enough and durable enough, okay? Your brother's not going to get the best of you if it's one-on-one between you and him. Because this is Yeshua that actually came down. This is the Messiah that came down and wrestled with Yaakov. And Yaakov showed his strength. Let me go. It's daybreak. Come on. This shows Yaakov didn't give up at all. He didn't give up and lay down and say, okay, you win. No, he was a fighter. He was strong. He was a mighty man. And, that's a major confidence booster. But it was also like a test, because Yaakov could have just gone about bragging about it and saying, oh, I fought God and I won. But no, he didn't. He didn't. He humbled himself. And he was grateful that he faced Yah and survived. So this is cool. Yeshua came down in Yah's glory, which means he was facing Yah. It's Yah's spirit, Ruach HaKodesh. So you see what I'm saying? Because Yeshua is not Yah. I want to establish that. Well, I established that in the Messianic Jewish moment. I want to establish that here too. But, he could have easily boasted, but no, all he asked for was a blessing. But then we go, we move on here. When they actually meet, okay, Esau ran to meet him, hugged him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him. And they wept. Esau looked up on seeing the women and children. He asked, "Who are these with you?" Yaakov answered, "The children Yahweh has graciously given to your servant." Now you see, he's putting himself in a humble position to his brother, calling himself his brother's servant. This is more than a custom. This is basically, if you humble yourself before Yah, okay, and you become his servant, well, you become mankind's servant also, okay? This is, part of this whole obedience thing that we're supposed to have with Yah. You see what I'm saying? But Yah gave Yaakov the courage to face his brother, and Yah softened his brother's heart, so that there would be no hostility between Esau and Yaakov, okay? Both went their separate ways, though. Yaakov settled down, bought a parcel of land in Canaan. I wrote this down, okay, from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father. If you remember Genesis 12, Yahweh told Avram at the time, it wasn't even Avraham yet, that he'd give the land to his descendants, this particular land. Just like Avram did, well, Yaakov built an altar to Yah and called it El Elohei Yisrael, or the God of Yisrael. But the land wasn't given to him, okay? The land was not given to him at this point, okay? We're going to see this here. One time, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Yaakov, went out to visit the local girls. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivi, the local ruler, saw her, grabbed her, raped her, and humiliated her. But actually, he was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov. He fell in love with the girl and tried to win her affection. Shechem spoke with his father Hamor and said, "Hey, get this girl for me. I want her to be my wife." Now see, Hamor tried to patch things up between he and Shechem, or he and his son and Shechem, and Yaakov and his sons, because they were mad. Yaakov and the sons were mad. They wanted to just, go for blood right then and there when they heard the news, But, they tried to patch things up by basically saying, okay, mikasa sukasa. This is my land, but let's share this land. Let my sons marry your daughters, let your sons marry my daughters, and everything like that. Well, the problem is, Hamor and his son were not followers and obeyers of Yah. They didn't worship Yah, okay? They worshipped idols, okay? And, we know how Yah is about idols and idolatry, okay? So, and since we know that Yah can change the hearts of people, he could soften a heart or harden a heart, and he can influence people and direct people to do things, we see that things are not going to be all hunky-dory the way Hamor thinks it's going to be, because they agreed to the terms. Okay, we'll share your land, we'll share your daughters with our sons, and your daughters or our daughters with your sons, and whatever. Okay, they agreed to that, but they said, well, all the people in your land need to be, or all the men in your land need to be circumcised. Need to have Brit Milah. So, they did. But one thing that a lot of people don't know, when you get Brit Milah, then you get a fever for a few days, and you're weakened, okay? Any male that gets the circumcision is weakened substantially. Gets a fever and everything like that. It's like he's sick. It's almost like he has the flu, okay? So Yaakov's sons knew this. So what did they do? They went and, let's read about it. On the third day after the circumcision, when they were in pain, two of Yaakov's sons, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords, boldly descended on the city, and slaughtered all the males. They killed Hamor and Shechem, his son, with their swords, took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and left. Then the sons of Yaakov entered over the dead bodies of those who had been slaughtered, plundered the city in reprisal for defiling their sister. They took their flocks, cattle, and donkeys, and everything else, whether the city or in the field. Everything they owned, their children, their wives, everything they took captive, and they looted whatever was in the houses. But Yaakov said to Shimon and Levi, "You have caused me trouble by making me stink in the opinion of the local inhabitants, the Canaanite and the Perizzite, since I don't have many people, they'll align themselves together against me and attack me." See, he's a pretty paranoid guy. First he's paranoid of Esau, and, now he's paranoid of these other clans coming to attack him. He says, "I will be destroyed, and me and my household." They replied, "Should we let our sister be treated like a whore?" So they took off towards Beit El, okay? And while they were traveling, a terror from Yah fell upon the cities around them, and none of them pursued the sons of Yaakov. That's right there in verse 5. But Rachel bore one more son. His name was Benjamin. She died during childbirth, and she was buried and everything. But now we see why Yah put the fear into the cities around them that might have come to avenge Hamor, okay, because of the fact that Benjamin, we would have never had that tribe if harm were to have come to Yaakov and his clan. We see what I'm saying? But the fact is, Yah is always going to make his plan happen. He's not going to let anybody thwart his plan. And even though the adversary might throw a little curveball in here and there, Yah's plan is so perfect that he's anticipating this. He knows it's going to happen before it happens. So all these little left turns and right turns and everything like that still end up at the same destination. Life is an adventure. And it's even greater adventure when we are actually obedient to Yah. We're in one accord with him, when we're in covenant with him, and we have fellowship with him. It's even more of an adventure then, because no matter what comes at us, our faith is built up. And we can see that Yah was building Yaakov's faith right here too. Okay? Because, I mean, come on, his brother Esau, he could have destroyed him right then and there. And then we have these other clans that might have wanted to form up against Yaakov. I mean, there's something to be fearing there. I mean, it's not something that's that you're just going to slough off and say, it's no big deal. You know what I mean? So Yah's going to put us through some scary situations to build our faith and our trust in him. And the stronger our faith and our trust are in him, the closer we come to him. And the less of this world actually affects us. That's why I had a very hard time with a lot of people who are so-called believers. And I believe that they're believers, but they're not to the point where they need to be. You know what I mean? When we had this election, 2012 election. Okay, they're all clamoring for either Obama or Romney. It's like, why? Why are you doing this? You're putting your trust and everything in men. In the book of Jeremiah, it says if you put your trust in humans, a curse will come upon you. So why? Why are you putting your trust in the men? See, and we see Yaakov gave us a great example of how to put our trust into Yah. And to just let Yah steer the boat. When Yah steers the boat, then we're in good shape. When he's not steering the boat, then guess what? We have a problem. Because then we're going to run into these things. These bad things are going to happen to us. And we have no faith in Yah. We lose that faith in Yah when these bad things do happen to us. When we turn our back on him. Now, I'm not saying bad things are not going to happen to us when we're in covenant with Yah. Bad things will certainly happen to us. I mean, we're going to have some horrible things happening to us throughout our lifetimes. But the fact is, a lot of times, if you read the book of Job, that's a test. He had horrible things happen to him, and what happened? He passed the test, okay? It's because Satan wants us to curse Yah. Satan wants us to turn away from Yah. Satan wants us to just flip him the bird and just, walk away in a different direction. That's what Satan wants. And what we need to do is strengthen our faith in Yah. We need to get into his Torah, and we need to understand. Not only read, but understand all the promises that are in that Torah so that we can take those promises to heart. When we face those rough situations and everything else, we come humbly to Yah and say, hey, I'm a humble servant of yours. I know I'm being tested. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to curse you. I'm not going to reject you or anything. Your Torah is on my heart, and you are my God. I'm not going to reject you. I'm not going to do any of this. If the enemy thinks he's going to win, he's going to lose. He's going to lose big time because I am yours and you are mine, Father. That's the attitude we have to take when bad things do happen to us. Okay, because we're always going to be thrown these curveballs throughout our life. It's just how we handle these curveballs. Are we going to knock it out of the park and say, hey, Yah's in control and he's the one who's going to make everything better, even though it might seem dismal now? All you people on the East Coast dealing with all this garbage, with your homes and everything else from the superstorm. I'm telling you right now, put your trust into Yah. Put it into the Father, the creator of the universe, okay? Put all of it into his hands. Don't worry about what you see, what you touch, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, whatever. Whatever any of your senses are telling you that's bad, don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the word of Yah. Pay attention to his promises. His promises are true, and he is not going to forsake you. All you need to do is maintain your faith. And keep your faith strong in him, and he will deliver you. I promise it. He promises it, okay? Trust his word and trust me when I tell you about his word. He will not fail you. It's you, and it's me, and other people that fail him. He never fails us, okay? Are you getting what I'm saying? Just remember, seek first the kingdom of heaven and all of his righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you. Take care, folks. I look forward to the next time.